Okay, guys, I'm trying to get everybody queued in. Hi. I see Marvin and I see a few others here. I'm trying to get everybody lined in. I have to admit everybody in because apparently people have been bombing the meetings.
Yes.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Somebody talking in the background who's not in yet. And I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey guys.
Hi. Can't you go full screen?
I see Steven. There he is.
Hi.
Hey.
Well, it's starting to happen. Okay.
Hello. So we have to figure out a way that there's less.
Drew and Marvin. Howdy, howdy.
Hey. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi. It's going to take me a few minutes, guys, to get everybody admitted in here.
That's all right. And here's Charlotte.
Hi, Charlotte.
Hi.
What the heck?
All right. I wish I didn't have to wear my glasses to see what's happening here, but it looks like we've got 4 people in right now.
Hello. Susie.
Hello.
Hello.
We got to find like a less.
This is good.
sunshine.
Can
Yeah.
you see?
Turn it this way.
There's Susie. Yeah, close your shade.
Yeah, we don't have shades.
Oh.
Right, swing over. Yeah, that's a better idea.
I think Jake is trying to get on, but he's on
There we go.
two different sign-ins there.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hey Scott, I don't know what you mean about having to put on your glasses.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's better. Yeah. These are really my good glasses.
Wait, we got to make it louder, Jimmy. Is there a way to make it louder?
Let me get Cody in here. I see Cody's trying to get in.
Jake, we have you twice. Oh,
Oh,
Under Cody then?
hello.
no.
Oh,
Marvin and Drew.
Hi.
There they are.
Hi.
Hey, Cody. How are you, honey?
Hi, Mom.
This is loud.
Hey,
Okay.
Jerry and
There's
Marcy.
David coming in.
And we have Julie. Julie, come over here. Come say hi.
Hi.
Wait, they can't see you. Come here.
Hey, Joe.
Hi. Wait. There she is.
That's Cody. Is that Cody?
Cody.
It is. Hi.
There's Art and Shirley.
Where's Art? I don't see Art and Shirley.
All the way down.
Hey, Cody. Hey, Jack.
Hi, how are you?
Guys.
2008.
Okay.
Hi.
Videos.
There they are.
All right, everybody stop talking for a moment, please. Who is 008481?
Okay.
All right,
Password?
now we have audio.
I don't know who it is. I don't want to admit somebody I don't know.
I think it's me from the other laptop because we have a lot of people.
I am.
Hi. Hi, Jared.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah,
Hello.
Drew. Hi, Marvino. Hello there.
yeah, that was me, Scott.
Shirley and Art.
Yep.
Who's that with the mask?
Hey, Cheryl.
Hey, baby.
Where?
Who's this?
Hello.
Oh, Marcy. Hi, Marcy.
Hi, Charlotte.
Hey, Charlotte.
Wait, where did Charlotte go?
Yes,
She was hiding.
Oh, there's Shirley.
Hi.
Who's talking?
There's Marcy all decked out.
Marcy still Hi, what is Elton John doing?
My mother.
So, David, are you there?
Whatever.
I see.
I saw David.
We're looking at David.
I was here.
I think David, yeah, just got zoomed out.
Wait. Cody is there.
Hi, Cody.
Oh, Scott, Madeline says you haven't added her.
Okay, I'm gonna. get ready.
And me
I
too.
forwarded it, right. I forwarded it to my kids.
I have multiple Jacob Spectors in here.
Yeah, because we have so many of us in that room.
Jessica's trying to get in.
There's Madeline.
All right, Madeline's in.
There's Madeline.
Tony are in.
And then-
Somebody's iPhone. I don't know whose
No, that's
iPhone.
Nina.
Jess, you should be in. You're in, but I don't see you. So you have to click video, Jess.
Hello.
Cindy Chapter, where's Bob?
There she is. There's Jess.
Where's she?
Hey,
Here's
Jess.
All right.
Maybe I need my glasses on.
Jess, I think we need to keep doing this.
Couple options. You can have it on
Pretty well.
Where'd David go?
People.
David,
Oh, that looks Jack. Send for me.
Here's Madeline.
David Stender disappeared picture-wise.
I just texted him. Hopefully he comes back
There's
soon.
David.
There, he's coming.
There he is.
There's Madeline. There he is. Hi, David.
I see Phil and Michael.
Oh,
in
no,
the-
that's
Oh,
not
there's
Hi,
Orianne.
David.
I see Orianne and Don.
I think almost.
do a roll call.
Hi, Jess.
Yes.
Cody.
Hi, Jess.
We don't see
Hi, Goody.
other than.
Met her before.
Hey, Scott, let Jake on.
David, where are you?
They see us.
Okay, Jack's coming.
Yeah, those just, I got there.
What on earth is Mercy wearing?
Learn this one.
This is my computer.
I think
Yeah, just because I'm not with it doesn't. I just wanted to try to get every.
Look, there's Michael and Bill.
Guys, if everybody talks at once.
There's Josh.
Scott, can you see about adding Nate? He's trying to come on too.
Me? Oh.
Thank you guys for helping me figure it out, because I. Hey, I see Jack.
No, Donna has straight blonde.
Guys, turn the camera on Jack.
Orianne?
Did you put it on gallery day?
Yeah, it's you can't do it.
Yes. Oh, there you go.
Jack is in. All right. Jess is in. And who is? Right here.
Orianne, you disappeared. No, there's.
It says
Yeah.
iPhone.
There you are.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hoodie is.
You are. Oh,
Yeah, that's
All right, we got everybody with better technology.
I think so.
Hi, David. Amy.
Nate says he can see us, but he can't.
Nina, do you know what Talia's coming on? Oh, okay. Talia's logging in right now, Scott.
You hear this?
Molly.
Scott, can you let Nina, Talia in?
There. Hi, Nate. Hi, Daisy.
There's Molly.
Pretty much great.
Good job.
Hey, everyone.
Please look so pretty.
Hi.
Oh,
Hey, guys.
everybody got a drink? Let's see all your glasses raised, even if it's water.
Here we are.
That's right.
Mine's the gin and tonic.
What a good idea.
Right?
And I heard his voice.
He's right there on
You
the.
gotta get closer.
Sorry.
Talia.
Go get your drink.
Oh,
You got
it's okay.
use a few more seconds. We're gonna have a toast here. All right. To Dad, to Uncle Bud,
Can you turn up the
buddy's
volume?
favorite Bud, right? Hey, Marvin and Drew, I don't see anything. You got a drink? Okay.
Yeah. We do.
All right. Ching ching.
He was the best.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Uncle Buddy.
Uncle
Hello.
Buddy.
You want to say?
Uncle Buddy.
Does it have to be gin to count?
Oh, there's
All right.
Oh, there's vodka order.
Ooh.
It's in-
What's Uncle Marvin drinking? What's Uncle Marvin drinking tonight?
Water.
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 Just like Jacob Astor's daughter wouldn't drink it, but he does.
But Uncle Marvin, that's unacceptable. Remember those martini nights?
No, to me, water is exceptional. Excellent.
Okay.
For those of you who may think this is a little early in the day to get started, particularly the people on the West Coast. as my uncle
Coming,
Buddy
it's
said-
coming. No, we're ready now. We're ready now.
Oh,
We are
okay.
ready now.
Well,
We're ready.
as my Uncle Buddy would have said, for anybody who thinks it's a little early in the day to get started, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very true.
Everybody's good now.
Where's
Good point. Half of them count.
Scott, is Penny on?
Yeah, she's on my
Yeah,
spot.
he's Jacob.
She is.
And Jerry.
There they are.
Hold on.
I'm putting it on there.
Marcy and Jerry.
Hit gallery.
Jerry.
Hey, Daisy.
Where's the kid?
All right, the babies?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Kid's right here.
You're not a kid. Hi, Ellie.
I'm
back.
off camera.
That's good.
Gage.
Susie.
Little single mom.
Well, hi, Gigi.
Teacher's there.
Baby.
Susie, are you at the polo?
Oh, you know what? You've got the.
We are. We are.
So close and yet so far. So close.
I know.
I can see everybody.
I was gonna do a drive-by, but
And I was like, who's
Aunt Penny, are you? Is your mom staying with you, Marcy?
Not yet. Not exactly. But
We
we
spend a lot of time.
Leo wants to say hi to everybody.
Okay.
Can you see
Hey, ask him, everybody.
Hi, Leo.
I know.
Leo.
Hi.
Oh.
Hey, Russell.
Hi, Bells.
Who's that barking?
Bells.
Where's Bob?
At least we met each
Right here, look.
We've got 4 dogs in the house. Four?
But we're not here for this last.
Julie, how many dogs do you have? Julie, your dogs
We have 5.
5. Who has 5 dogs?
I do. Julie. I've lost my mind.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
What is it?
He's an old English sheepdog.
Oh my gosh. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Thank you.
You know,
When is everybody gonna come and we're gonna celebrate his happy life? Like, I'm thinking like.
Oh, is that your starfish?
Who's that?
Mom, I want to show Bob my starfish.
Again,
He's in Florida.
I think that we should make a huge container of Bud's barbecue sauce in honor.
yeah, wonderful
There you go,
idea.
Cody.
That was a great idea.
Papa, where's Baba?
Here I am.
Hi, Baba.
Here's ours.
This is my starfish.
There you go.
great.
Love it.
Out of that.
Great.
We got the recipe, but we didn't get the bottle.
The bottle's the best.
Michael's got the
Michael's got
recipe.
the recipe.
Yeah.
Hey, Susan, you better
Start
share.
making it in excess.
Happy to.
I
Yeah.
have a bunch of them, and then I have this.
Gigi, the new baby.
This one's a little worse for wear, but
So
That's
cute.
good. Do you have something you want to tell everybody?
my goodness.
Oh, look at their puppy.
Back on.
Jessica, hey Jessica.
You guys, this
No,
is
I think we did.
Here.
It's a little bit worse for wear because it's been in my pocket for a year, but this is the back of my phone case.
I want
Oh, Jen.
Enamorados right now?
Oh.
Why not?
No, did you see?
Are you gonna want to moderate this thing?
Back, show your phone again. Show your phone again. It's not.
Mom, can you find
Bud's best logo
Oh, yes.
on the back of his phone.
Oh, golly. You got this.
I couldn't even tell it was you, Jack. I don't remember seeing you so big, so it's crazy.
Yeah, but it's when this happens.
What?
Jack was small, so yeah.
Let's find it.
Hi.
Hi.
So many people on this call. Gigi. Andrew. He didn't say little Spencer, he's big Spencer.
Yeah, you got big.
You have an announcement for us, Jessica?
That's how I hang up.
So what is your announcement, my dear?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, we're having a baby.
When is the big day? When?
In October. So hopefully after things have calmed down a little bit.
Good thinking on your part.
Yes, we planned it specifically.
Exciting.
Are you gonna find
Oh,
out?
wonderful.
Yes. I'll probably know in about a week. They did the blood test. So
So are we gonna do another one of these in a week?
yeah, exactly. So I can do the gender reveal.
So fun on Zoom. That's awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, please.
Assuming it's a girl, so I'll be very surprised if it's a boy.
So we're serious about this. We want a gender reveal girl.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
You want suggestions on names?
Well,
Oh, no is the only appropriate answer. to that.
Wait, why do you think it's
So exciting.
no, I just always assumed. So, but I'd love a boy. I'd love either one.
Oh, there's Scott.
so exciting?
Thank you. Yes. Thanks.
Hopefully we can all do this sometime in the future.
Hi,
It's
Penny.
not better than us, too. We can all get together.
We will.
Josh.
Be doing that.
Hi, Aunt Penny. This is so fun. Thank you, Scott and Colleen.
What's that?
I said thank you so much.
Find some toys for me.
What?
Find some toys. Mom, why are you not
I
listening?
think we have.
I
a cacophony is all together in the room.
Scott, we can't hear you well
Mm-mm.
at all.
But I think we have the same cacophony as if we all got together in the same room.
That's funny.
Hey, Orianne, what's going on with you? How's New York?
Hey, Penny.
No,
Strange.
No, that's.
I'm not sure. Is it Tori?
Just like that, there's more tequila.
Yeah, I was asking about Orianne, how she's doing in New York.
It's a little weird, but I'm surviving. This whole kind of format is like giving me like epilepsy or something. I can't really deal with it.
Oh, no.
Is somebody in charge here?
Somebody in charge.
No.
We're in charge.
The lawyers.
Whoever talks is in charge.
Yeah, really.
Hey, guys. Hey, guys. Everybody
Uncle
listen up.
Marvin's the ranking member.
Listen up, listen
Well,
up, listen up.
why don't we have people
Listen to Scott.
talk a little bit
Stop
about
talking for a
Buddy,
second.
about some of their memories of Buddy.
Stop talking. Stop talking for a second. If you all talk at once, nobody can really talk. So we've got to be taking turns, and that's a little difficult for the Stender family to do. So,
You see that
but also with the kiddos and the barking dogs and the moving hand cell phones take priority. So if you're moving around with your cell phone, it's going to take priority. If you're talking really noises, it's going to take over.
But I think there's an option to stop and mute.
If we can try and control this a little bit, we'll have a better experience.
Scott, we can't hear you well.
I don't know why that. Let's see.
Scott, if everybody mutes
Yes.
and then only one person unmutes at a time, you'll get much better sound quality.
And Scott, can't you mute everybody and then unmute as people go along?
Here's how it'll work. I'm gonna find the mute button. I will mute everybody, and then if you want to speak, you use the space bar and you hold the space bar down while you're talking. Okay? That's how it works. To talk, once I do this, once I mute it. Noise here.
What if everybody holds the space bar down at the same time?
I'm gonna mute you.
Jimmy, we're trying to get back into the call right.
All right, everybody's muted. Can you hear me? Everybody wave if you can hear me. All right.
Susan and
Now.
Jim, I just unmuted myself. Susan and Jimmy are trying to get back into the call. Can we let them in?
I will. Okay, I'll do that. But now, from now on though, if you want to talk, take your turn by hitting the space bar and holding it down while you talk. And Susie and Jimmy, I've got to get back on.
Can I go first? Unfortunately, I have a homework assignment due in 40 minutes.
There you go.
But I have to go finish. So can I go first?
Sure.
My favorite memory of Uncle Buddy is when Jack and I were little and we were visiting Grandma Gloria in Florida, and we went over to Uncle Buddy and Aunt Penny's house, and we were going to the rodeo night at the golf club, and Aunt Penny and Uncle Buddy got us cowboy hats and all of the holsters and everything, and we all went and had the best time, and it's something I've never forgotten ever. And I love him and I miss him, and I love you, Aunt Penny, and I wish I could hug you. And that is my favorite memory of Uncle Buddy.
Thank you.
And I love you all, and I'm so sorry that I can't stay any longer, but I do have to finish this homework assignment.
Finish your homework. We love you.
Thank you for
I
being
love
with
you
us.
very much.
Thank you, Cody. That was great. Now I don't hear anybody.
Well, what about, can you hear me now?
Now I hear you, Marvin. Yes.
The memories of Buddy, it's too late. How much time do you guys have?
We have about 20 minutes left, I think.
As family members and others may know, Buddy and I and Ray, our older brother who died some time ago, were 5 years apart, which I attribute to our wise parents' family planning before that was actually in vogue. They were wonderful people, our parents. But because of that, we weren't particularly close as kids because of the age difference. And it was only as adults that we began to appreciate each other, and particularly the values that each of us placed on family. And Buddy was really an exemplar of that, of course. And as I say, it was only as adults that became more apparent. And the three of us really, ironically, since we were all living thousands of miles apart by that time, began to appreciate each other in a way that hadn't happened earlier on because of that age difference. So to me, it's just important to note that Buddy will be missed, as Ray was when he died years ago. Thank you.
Great, Marvin. That was great. Who's next? Who else has a tribute?
So I do. You know, you talk about where these relationships developed from. And of course, we lived a mile away from each other when we were all kids. And as you know, most kids in those years were trying to figure out how to avoid their parents and their aunts and their uncles and their parents' friends. I developed this just unbelievable relationship by playing golf with these guys. And friends of mine would say, you know, I said, well, I can't go, I'm playing golf tomorrow. Who are you playing golf with? Well, my father and my uncle. And they couldn't believe what I was saying. And they said, well, why do you play golf with your uncle so much? I said, because he always sneaks me drinks when we're done. So it was perfect that we're going out here in this unusual forum that all of a sudden seems very, very usual, very cool. So Uncle Buddy, I miss you. I love you. Aunt Penny, I love you.
I just want to add one thing. I've said it to a few of you already, but one of my favorite things about Uncle Buddy was that sparkle he always had in his eye, like he was going to tell the best joke, or, you know, he just had this love for life. And I just wanted to add that because it was something incredibly special.
Cheers, everybody. Cheers.
So I found a couple.
Thank you, Tori and Stephen.
So I found a couple of photographs. I'm not sure if they're coming through here.
No, I think I can get them for you though, Joel, on the.
I sent them to Scott earlier, but maybe you could figure out a way to project them up, Scott. But like everybody in the Stender family, Uncle Buddy and Aunt Penny lived a couple of blocks away from us in Flossmoor for most of our life after like 1957 or something like that. But there couldn't have been a closer bond and relationship between nephew and uncle than I'm temporarily muted.
No, I think you're not.
But maybe
We can hear you, Joel.
You can hear us. Okay. My screen says I'm temporarily muted, but I think I'm coming through. Anyway, we had so much fun together. We, you know, as youngsters, back when Uncle Marvin was still at the University of Chicago, he and Buddy shared a bedroom on Champlain Avenue, and I'd go and Marvin was already sort of out of the house, but I would go and wait for Uncle Buddy to wake up in the morning, and sometimes that turned out to be 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and he wasn't around much because he apparently had a social engagement that started soon after 4 p.m., so into the shower and out on another round. But that was when I was like 8 years old, and then we moved out to Flossmoor, and I would work for him in the summers. I was his key non-union employee on his roofing crew, working with Junior and Stash and Big John, and he'd pick me up at 5:15 every morning, even sometimes when I would have returned home at 4:45. But somehow I had the stamina to put in 8 or 10 or 12 hours on the roofs in Chicago. I was there one day when we set a land speed record, traveling from Cottage Grove Avenue to Homewood when Tom decided to take the family car down the driveway into Dolphin Lake.
Yeah.
And he was just going for a quick swim. But what I remember about Uncle Buddy the most is that there was never a human being on earth that was more ready to smile, with a spectacular sense of humor, and always ready to have fun. And more about having fun will be recited later.
I have to say one thing only. The coolest aunt and uncle I've ever had. The best.
Sorry, Uncle Marvin.
They were wild, and I like wild.
Uncle Marvin's pretty cool too.
Oh, you're cool and wild.
Can I just?
I got.
Dad,
I got good news.
Oh, get in. You're not in. I'm in.
Next, Dad.
Could you add Madeline again? She got disconnected.
Who?
Madeline.
Madeline. I don't know why she keeps getting disconnected.
Madeline's on my screen.
Okay, so wait, we haven't heard from Mr. over here and the new wife.
I want to say, who's Mr. and Mrs.?
Nat.
We can't hear you.
Oh, Nate, we haven't heard from you, lovey. How you doing?
I actually have a great one. Is Penny there? I can't see on the screen.
I'm here. I'm watching.
All right. So I actually have a great story. I think I might be sewing a few details together on this one, but
Your bestie,
so bear with me on this one. So it was right after the wedding.
Whose wedding?
I was actually exchanging some emails with your mom because she had never gotten to meet Daisy before. Obviously, they couldn't attend the wedding because of Buddy's health condition, and so I sent him a whole bunch of pictures, just sort of like beginning to up to the wedding stuff, all the A material, or she would have gotten mad at me otherwise, and so I send this first email off, and I get this response, which I'm pretty sure was sent by your mom, but I'm almost positive was a line that Buddy must have said, because it didn't sound exactly like her. He said, "Oh my God, she looks like Selma Hayek."
Yes, we know. Yeah, of course we know Selma Hayek.
Of course.
She's beautiful. Of course she does look like
Yeah, she
Selma.
does.
I'm surprised my father knew who Selma Hayek was. Just me.
Did we respond appropriately?
Did you hear us?
I totally did. It was a wonderful moment. I had a serene laugh at it. It was quite wonderful.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I still remember all those times we spent all together. Nate, can anyone hear me or no?
I hear you, Jake. I don't see you. Where are you? You got to push the space bar, Jake.
It is push. Can you hear me?
I hear you, but I don't see you.
That's strange.
That's okay.
Yeah, I
That's
remember.
because you're under your Jake mom, and my mom and your dad are both under Jacob Spector as well. So there's too many Jakes.
We can see you. I can see Jacob.
How about that?
There you go, Jake. You're on now. You're on.
Okay. No, Dad, it makes noise. You can hear me, right?
I hear you. Yes.
Okay,
I
cool.
see you.
So, yeah, there's a lot of points. The first, I want to say I remember all of the fun times that we had growing up with Nate. You know, we would always go to Florida and spend so much time over at Gloria's house and over at Nani and Poppy's house. And, you know, I still remember that every day. And, you know, it was so great growing up with a cousin like that. And then there are so many other things. As, you know, Marvin said, it's impossible to come up with one moment or one memory. But, I mean, I haven't heard anyone say yet, you know, you don't have to be hungry to eat. So I think we all know that is one of the lasting memories that we always have, and it sticks to our heart. And my, one of the best moments I have to say was the fact that I was able to have Poppy over at our wedding, and he was able to attend, and he was able to even get up and dance a little bit. Not that he maybe should have, but he did. He did. He got up for one moment to dance, and it was such a great moment. We have such great pictures of him there. So, I mean, I could spend 5 hours talking about Poppy. I want to let everyone else do it, but you know, don't got to be hungry to eat. We all have to remember that. It's going to stick with us forever.
Thank you, Jake.
Jake, to hear you say Poppy is quite remarkable for all of us. We haven't heard Poppy in many, many years, because that's obviously what we call, you know, Poppy, Jack, and just love that you called him Poppy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we do. He's also a Poppy. Poppy.
Yeah.
That's all I've always remembered him as, Poppy.
Yeah, that's
So much.
Scott, could I just jump in? Mackenzie and Jen are trying to gain access.
And Zach and Patty.
And Zach and Patty, could you let them in?
Wait, don't let go.
Are you gonna say something, Marvino?
And while I stole the floor, Allie's got something to say.
Can I give my memory real quick?
I think they're in now. Okay. Yes, go for it.
Okay. So everyone talks about how much fun Uncle Buddy was and just his laugh was infectious. But my favorite memory of all times was when we went for dinner at the club. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes. We're hearing you.
So we went for dinner at the club in Florida, and we were all sitting there, and there was a band, and there was music. People were dancing, and Uncle Buddy took his napkin and threw it on the floor, and then said, "Penny, dear, can you grab that napkin?" And she bent over to pick up the napkin, and Uncle Buddy went. I was like watching her pick it up, and I was dying because he loves Aunt Penny so much. And I just love that he was still checking out her tush. And it just made me laugh so much. And it was just true form for Uncle Buddy. He loves Aunt Penny so much. And that was his personality. He was so much fun.
Thank you.
Oh, Ellie, thank you so much. What a
beautiful.
sweet memory.
That's great.
So some of my favorite memories were in the early years when Marcy and Scott and I were growing up, and they lived down the street at Dolphin Lake, and we were on Burns Avenue, and very frequently I was at their house, and very frequently we ended up getting into some trouble. I've shared some of these thoughts with Aunt Penny over the years, but one of the special ones was when I accidentally broke a fluorescent bulb in the kitchen and exploded everywhere. And another time, Scott and Marcy and I were having a contest. I think Marcy had just had a nose job, and we were talking about whether you could move your jaw, whether your head moved or your jaw moved. So we all had our chins on the table in the kitchen, and we were proving scientifically that your jaw goes down, your head does not go up. So that was a fun moment in
Good story.
Buddy and Penny house. One of the worst things I did was we were having a tasting contest, and I took Tabasco sauce on my finger and I pushed it into Tommy's mouth, and he threw up just as Aunt Penny and Uncle Bud came in the house from their night out, and I got into loads and loads of trouble. And it just went on and on. I remember Scott, I won't go into details on this one, but I'm going to actually skip that one. But Scotty did help us fill our refrigerator for beer on a night when Mom and Dad were visiting Buddy and Penny in Florida. So you helped our 14-year-old effort to collect about 12 beers maybe. They were Schlitz, and they were from that cooler right by the door in the garage.
Okay.
Anyway, I've taken my time. Aunt Penny, we love you. We've had a ball growing up with you and Penny, with you and Buddy, and had so much fun over so many years. And there's just more fun to be had.
I hope so.
Thank you.
Can I press?
No.
Oh, he can hear me?
Thank you.
You're on permit.
Oh, good. Thank you, David. Love you. Hi, Susie.
I have just a little word to say. I've always said this, and every time I would see Uncle Buddy and Aunt Penny, I would say, every little girl needs an Uncle Buddy. And he was mine. He, from the little red dress he got for me when I was probably 3 or 4 years old, to wonderful memories of like staying even in their apartment. There was one night, we already had moved to Flossmoor. They were still in Chicago, upstairs, like over the store or something. I'm not sure where you were, but I remember I came to stay overnight. I got sick. You called the doctor. He came, he gave me a shot. I remember you rubbed lotion on my tush because it hurt so much. And you taught me, Aunt Penny, how to color in the lines of a coloring book and how to outline. And I mean, we're going back to when I was like 6 years old, maybe. I just remember the house in Chicago Heights. I remember so many family holidays and dinners with all of us around the table. And I remember one of those holidays when Neil and Orianne came, I guess with Uncle Marvin, for Passover for something. I don't know what it was. I don't know. Do you guys remember coming to Flossmoor?
And Jessica was doing somersaults and tricks and everything?
No.
I remember that very well.
It
Yeah.
was no Jessica. This was when they were little. We had a picture with Neil and Orianne coming to one of the family dinners.
Oh.
Does anyone else remember? Anyway, to Uncle Buddy, such a smile, such a wonderful, sweet man. And to Aunt Penny, you were his princess.
And we all love you so much.
Yeah, Susan, I love you so much. Jimmy,
Love you
too.
too. There he is.
Thank you. Thank you.
There was one thing I didn't add yet about Poppy that still sticks in my mind. It's quick. He was one of the first people in the family that I came out to, and the first thing he said was, other than I already knew that from maybe day 3, and it's never changed my opinion about you, and it never will, and I love you just the same. And
of course,
I mean, even though I assumed that, it was still a really scary moment, and it was so touching, and that was something that it always sticks with me.
Oh.
So I just wanted to add that little quick piece.
Oh, that's
It's a beautiful thing, y'all.
yeah.
Should we do it another week or two?
Where's Marcy, the disembodied voice? Why is she off?
She's in the background over here.
What do you mean? I'm not disembodied. Look at my body.
Don't come on.
I don't have a disembodied. I got a beautiful body.
The whole thing is recorded. The video is recorded.
I don't care. She said I was disembodied. I'm fine.
I think you're in all silhouette because the window's behind you.
Okay, good. Whatever.
Hey, Scott, can you let Madeline back in?
She keeps dropping out.
That's causing trouble.
All right, let's try. I should be able to do that in a second here. There she is.
It's got a gorgeous kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
That's beautiful.
You hear us, Scott?
So should we order food?
I don't think so.
Jerry, what are we gonna do?
I hear you.
Love in the cabinet.
Somebody starving?
Well, you don't have to be hungry to eat.
I'm hungry. Always hungry. Like Papa.
Is anyone else
Where did we
there?
go? What happened?
I don't know.
You know, if you tell that don't you have to be hungry to eat thing, you have to do it right. What the joke really is Samantha, you got to be hungry to eat.
That's true.
There you go.
That's
There
it,
you
Marvin.
go.
That's
I
it.
forgot the
That's
full
it,
part. That's
Marvin.
right.
Yeah, what's the matter? What's the matter?
What's the matter? You gotta be.
Well, look
hungry.
what we're doing. Look what we're doing while we're talking. We're eating.
See all the
Oh,
food
you
here?
guys are so cute.
That's
Wait,
right.
give me. Hey, can you see me?
No, yeah, I see you. On the corner.
All right, so the correct story is
Okay, do it now.
his friend Pee Posner
Yes.
Beep, beep.
Yes.
came
Pee-pee.
by in his chauffeur limousine
Yeah.
when they lived in by the lake there, and they had just come from brunch, and of course Pepe, who was 4.5 feet tall and 4.5 feet wide, Aunt Penny invited him in. She said, "Oh, Pepe, it's so nice to see you. I just finished baking one of my signature cherry cheesecakes. Would you like some dessert? And his wife, I think her name was like Dolores, said, Pepe, we just finished brunch. He says, Dolores, you gotta be hungry to eat. That is the correct story.
Oh, that
like
is
that.
the correct story.
I like that.
Wasn't VP Posner?
It's stuck ever since.
Yeah.
Wasn't VP Posner's wife Bubbles? Or was that somebody else?
Somebody else.
Gerald?
I would hope, because Pee-Pee and Bubbles would be a very strange combo.
I just remember when both Ray and Buddy came all the way to Washington, D.C. for our wedding, when there was another big celebration going on in Chicago, and we were so pleased that they were there.
Oh, yeah. I wish I could have been there too.
Well, there were a lot of things going on that weekend.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's true.
yeah. I remember that.
So did we get a lot
I-
of our family?
I think so.
moved on?
I think we should all, I mean,
think we
what
should
I'm
move
going to
on.
do, and Justin's going to do, and some of us are also going to do, is write a one, bullet point best memory, because sometimes it takes a little longer to think about that most important moment. So I think it would be great if we could get an email chain with us and just have a bullet. What is after a couple days of thinking, is there one story that's so memorable that we forgot to share? I'm going to send one because I know I have a better one, but if anyone else wants to, I'll send it to everyone. And I think that would be nice. So it's not on the spot.
Please do. But also, if anybody else wants to continue talking, please, you're welcome to, because Zoom just sent me a message that they've extended our chat for as long as we want. So.
Okay, well, I
Fancy.
think probably,
Don't you think we're ready?
And Penny,
yes.
can you see it's Mackenzie and Olivia from?
Mackenzie.
Oh, I was going to say we haven't seen
Oh
Mackenzie.
my God, I haven't seen you
The baby.
in so long.
Hi.
Seen the baby.
My God.
Oh my God.
Hey, Jake. So
Oh
we don't have one particular memory, but what we do have is just every time we came to your house, there was just this feeling that, like, you guys are just you're the nicest couple.
Oh,
That's Mackenzie.
We love you so much. And
We
then
love
we
you
just
too.
felt that every time we came to your house. We were so excited to see you, and you were just so sweet, and Uncle Buddy was so fun, and
He was always.
it's not one particular moment, but it really is that. We absolutely love you, and we send our hugs, our kisses. And Olivia, do you want to say a quick hi to Aunt Penny?
Hi.
Hi, Aunt Penny. Hi, Aunt Penny.
Yeah.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi. Hi, hi,
Hi, hi, hi.
hi. He's just cutie. Look at that nose. I want to get that nose.
That's Mackenzie's nose.
There knows that.
That's a Mackenzie nose. Got it. Ooh. Ooh.
Get her, Libby's.
Got it.
Scott, this was wonderful.
Thank you
that
for putting this
Yeah,
together.
thank you, Scott. Great idea.
All right. Well, I'm glad you all took the time to check in and do this. It's a new world out there.
Who's Baba?
There's a lot of babas in the room.
Yeah, a lot of babas. But I'm really glad you all came together to do this, and it's the best we can do in these times. And we're really happy that you all came and shared with us.
You put it together, Scott. You
You
did
did
a
it.
great job.
It wasn't
We're so
easy,
proud
but
of you.
you did it. You did it.
Proud of you.
And yeah, I think we should definitely do this again in future moments.
then, you know,
when
another-
we're all not
yeah.
together.
I do have one thing to share. The last time I was in Florida was January of 2019. It was almost exactly a year ago, and we came over and sat by the pool. And that's when I got this sticker, and it's been on the back of my phone ever since. But it's not so much that moment that I hold on to, but every day when I get my phone unplugged and I put it in my pocket and I walk out the door to go to class, and every day when I get back from school and I plug it back in to go to sleep, because that's pretty much what it is. It's 6 a.m. to midnight when I get back from the library. Every time I pick up my phone, I see his face, and there's just something kind of something kind of
Yeah.
special about that, just because
On his phone.
I'm only 19 years old. I only had a certain amount of memories with him over the years, but there's something pretty special about kind of his last year with us, having him with me every single day.
Oh,
Do you have that photo by chance that you used to imprint?
It's,
by any-
I've got it.
You
It's
do?
the
I was gonna
labels.
say, I want to make one too.
It's the
I think
labels.
that's such a, that really was an amazing
Yeah,
thing to
Jack
see.
thought of that.
That's
and Put it
awesome.
on his phone.
So sweet, Jack.
You need a new sticker, Jack.
Scott will send you a new sticker.
I love that.
thank you.
Yeah, it's a little bit worse for wear. Thank you.
So cool. You guys are the best. We love you.
Okay, well, bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good luck, everyone.
Bye.
Much love.
Everyone stay safe.
y'all.
and healthy. Stay safe and healthy.
Stay safe.
Bye-bye, ladies.
Yes,
Okay.
stay safe.
I think we're going to sign off now and end this meeting. And thank you all for participating. And we look forward to seeing you in person, in the flesh, in the near
Nice
future.
job, Scott. Thank you.
Good job, Scott.
All
right.
Bye, Colleen.
Bye, Colleen.
Bye.
We love you lots.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.